What's your, oh man, this will never happen again moment in D&D? Part 2. I guess it's happening again. The first session of D&D I ever played was with a group of people I hadn't met before, minus one friend who asked me to join. The very first combat encounter, I managed to get crit and decapitated. I just kind of looked around like, was that supposed to happen? The DM was actually pretty gracious about it and wrote in a story reason why I could come back to life, so everything was good. Until a little later on in the same session, we were in another combat, and when the DM rolled to hit against me, I saw his head slump into his hands. Needless to say, I was decapitated again. After fulfilling a blacksmith's final request to kill him with the blade he had been trying to forge for his entire life, a decision that went against the values of our pacifist samurai, we were headed back to the central area of the abandoned city to reconvene with the rest of our party. On the way back, we were attacked. Our druid, Peck, turned into a lion whilst fighting 3 huge, homebrewed flying insects because they can jump 36 feet. A quick Google search told us that lions can't jump 36 feet straight in the air. Go figure. The insects were flying 20 feet in the air, and a lion can apparently jump 8 feet straight up. Perfect. Myself, Ranger Fighter Multiclass, declares, slightly drunk, "Guys, I have an idea. Peck, hold your action." My turn comes around. I run over to the lion, mount it, draw my sword, and cast the jump spell on Peck. Peck leaps forward, jumping onto one of the insects. DM calls for strength saves to hold on. We both pass. Our turns come back around, and Peck and I tear the insect apart from above. It dies and begins to fall to the ground. I jump from the dead insect to one of its partners and fail the save to hold on. Falling to the ground, our bard jumps forward and catches me moments before our cleric commands the insect to drop from the sky, landing atop both of us and crushing us. The bard goes down, 1 hit point away from an instant death, and I crawl, bloodied, out from beneath the insect, blade in hand, before plunging it into its head, killing it, and dragging the bard from beneath. The cleric runs over and heals him. Our pacifist samurai looks on in disbelief. I put arcane jet fuel in one of my games. A single palm-sized crystal could double the effect or duration of a spell. The party were launching an attack on a merc group who'd taken control of the town and were holed up behind the castle gates. The group's sorcerer pulled this crystal out of their pocket, pointed a finger at the 30-foot castle gates, and cast Fireball. I described the explosion and the ensuing sound of all the tunnels beneath the castle collapsing in on themselves, and one of my players commented, "So, Thor's had one too many and picked a fight with a horny Zeus." I have 2. Don't make deals with devils and let pets die. One of my party members had this pet dinosaur thing that she saved from an island we traveled to. Throughout the campaign, it died several times. Each time, someone in the party had a way to save it via magic or whatever, until one day, all our spell slots were used and poor Ducky, as she had named it, lay bleeding out. She begged any god that would listen to save her pet. Something unknown answered and only asked for a favor at some point in the future in return. Quickly, she accepted, and Ducky lived to see another day. I, halfling rogue, had made a deal with a devil. In exchange for 300 souls, he would give me soul-collecting equipment, which I could use to gather souls and trade them in for sweet gear in his devil shop. Thing is, I didn't have 300 souls, so I was in debt to this devil. Jump to several sessions later, and I'm about 200 souls away from paying off my debt. Ducky is still alive and well. We invade the Imperium capital on a mission to assassinate the Emperor. We didn't really want to kill him, but just get some questions answered. We learned a lot of plot stuff, but what it boiled down to was this. The only thing stopping this unknown evil entity, the big bad evil guy, from taking over the material plane was the Emperor having a contract with a powerful devil. That was when our loving pet owner got possessed, raised her bow, and killed the Emperor. A dark voice speaking in her mind.
"A pet for an emperor. A fair trade to me."
All hell broke loose after that, and long story short, the Imperium got fucking annihilated. Jump to a few sessions later, we're on our way to find the last hidden base of the Imperium, our best bet for taking down this deity. We discovered that the former Emperor's wife was pregnant with what would be the new Emperor, who would be blessed with magic power or something to stop the BBEG. That was when the devil, who I had made a deal with, approached me.
If you kill the 40 people on this list, your previous debt will be considered paid,
he said. I accepted because I still had 150 souls to get, and 40 seemed much easier. Then I saw the first name on the list. It was the Emperor's wife. Rather than screw over this world's last chance, I elected to kill my character who had been with the party for the whole campaign. I said goodbye to my party and tore up the list. The devil claimed my soul. TLDR, don't make deals with powerful beings. No matter how cool the loot or how desperate the situation, you'll end up with the short end of the stick. Our DM, for shits and giggles, had a homebrew spell that was basically a mega wish. To successfully cast it, you had to crit and double confirm. We were going stupid high levels in this campaign. I'm talking 20 levels in each of 3 separate classes per character. My friend Alex was playing a homebrew were-dragon race that was a barbarian, wizard, and fighter. The character's name was Nyx. We came upon a small town in the Underdark. Let's call it Weatherton. The captain of the town guard from Weatherton was originally from the Feywild for some reason. Nyx was like, oh, what the hell? Let's try something fun. She cast the Mega Wish spell, attempting to transport the entire town and everyone in it to the Feywild. Roll for it. Nat 20. Roll to confirm. Another Nat 20. The party was going nuts at this point. The DM was nervous, to say the least. Roll to confirm again. Nat fucking 20. The party went wild, and the DM sat there staring blankly at the dice, wondering why he let us fuck up his plot so easily. We then proceeded to become the town's heroes and had monuments built to us. It was a fun night. I was playing an Unearthed Arcana Phoenix Sorcerer, was first in initiative, and at the start of a combat against early campaign Big Bad Evil Guy. Rolled 3 d20s in a row on Scorching Ray and instantly immolated the boss. While doubling my damage d6s, I rolled no lower than 5. It was so destructive, the whole party literally sat stunned as my DM described the auto-kill. And it was such a massive amount of damage, our pacifist Furbolg cleric actually left the party. The player created a new character. Basically, the cleric was of the opinion we were too violent and destructive. My character became the campaign's main antagonist. I was the leader of an adventuring party. My original adventuring party wanted a raise when I had no gold, so the guy who was playing a rogue, Ninja, stole everybody's items before getting lost in a swamp and dying, losing the entire party's inventory. They all blamed me, so they exiled me, even though I was the powerhouse of the party and they were basically useless without me. I went on to get revenge on them by killing the campaign's main antagonist at level 3 and taking his place by turning myself into a lich and trying to obtain world domination. The funny thing is that even though I am the big bad, I'm less evil than my adventuring party. They burned down the house of an old lady twice and gouged out both of her eyes just because they could. Playing Lost Mines. My party managed to turn the dragon in Thundertree against the dragon cult by sabotaging their tribute. If I recall correctly, they cast heat metal on the gold. Caster aced his stealth, the dragon didn't roll well for perception or insight, so there was a fight between the dragon and cult while the party just watched. Suffice to say, it didn't take long and they were very glad afterwards that it wasn't them who ended up fighting the dragon. My brother and I were playing the 2nd edition Advanced D&D, and we were playing the module In Search of Adventure. We ended up coming to a huge rock with a beautiful woman chained to it. She yelled and screamed about how there was this evil old lady, hag, that was going to kill anyone who would try to save her. But my brother, the dwarf, had other plans. He shot the woman with his gun and proceeded to get a crit. The woman fell to the ground, as the chains were an illusion, as well as the woman herself. It turned out the hag was disguising herself, and while my brother and I were still laughing at the absurdity of all this, the DM was flipping through the module. I asked him what was up, and he said that by shooting the hag, we missed a bunch of wacky shenanigans she would pull. TLDR, brother shot a hag that was disguising herself and proceeded to skip a large part of the module by doing so. We're playing a sci-fi campaign, and my fighter had a belt of grenades. They were homebrewed, and this was a while ago, so I don't remember how much damage they dealt. He had a whole belt of 12 across his chest, like some 80s action movie character. We're only level 4 at the time, and our DM was rolling for random encounters. Adult White Dragon. After a very short and intense fight, I got grabbed in its mouth, and it started to swallow me. Then it hit me. All I had to do was blow myself up. It started flying away because everyone else was down and I was being swallowed, so it had no reason to stay. My DM was merciful and let me use my bonus action to pull the pin on one of the grenades, then use my action and action surge to try and break out of its mouth. I actually succeeded on breaking free and fell something like 80 feet into the snow. DM rolled for damage, and it was just enough for me to survive at my current health. He also ruled that the 12 grenades blowing up in the dragon's throat was enough to blow out a large portion of its neck and face, and begin free-falling. The falling damage finished it off. And that's how I single-handedly killed an adult dragon at level 4. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you like what we do, or you hate what we do, or you've got a story that you'd like for us to do, please let us know with your comments.